Hey, what's going on? This is recorded with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started here. We are live at the Texas Public Safety Conference 2022 here in Galveston, Texas. We're in the convention center right now in the vendor hall. This is the last day of the vendor hall. They're going to be doing prizes and a bunch of other stuff here pretty soon, but it is awesome to be here, and I'm in booth 126, and I'm here with my good friends. I've got Nathan Lee, to my right, of the Nissan Relief Foundation.
A.K.A. Clint Black.
Yep. Howdy, y'all.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about right there. And then Ryan Chambers of Frontline Public Safety Solutions. What's up? Dude.
I feel left out, Ricardo. Like,
what? Oh, because of the hat? I know.
We're truly in Nathan's shadow, and it's not because of his height, it's because of his hat.
You know, we're not even 30 seconds in, and you got the short joke started. This is great. How did North Carolina do last night?
Oh, much better
Sorry
than
about
Maryland.
That is messed up.
Touche.
Oh, that very well. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
So we're here to talk about March Madness and what happened last night. No, I'm just joking. We're here, and Hank is jumping in. So is Don. Hello, everyone here in the audience. Thank you for being here. And Don says, "What a crew!" Exactly.
Hey,
and
Don.
Hank says in all caps, "Nice hat."
Thank you, Hank. You're my mentor, my friend.
Oh,
I've been doing my best Hank Hunt impression all week long. I'm still waiting for that manure you haven't sent me yet. So.
You should see the boots he's got on.
That's another story. Hank, I'm telling you, bro. I told you I got the belt buckle. It is what it is. I'm making you proud.
Wow. I hope I get to hear this manure story pretty soon.
Yeah.
All I think about is Back to the Future.
So I have a 20 square foot planter box in my side yard, and I'm becoming a little bit of a farmer. And if you haven't followed me on Nathan's farming adventures, do it. But Mr. Hunt is like, don't ever buy manure because I got it literally out of his what because of his farm.
Oh,
and straight from the horses.
Right.
Know.
Yeah.
Not his mouth. But anyway, I thought it was funny. He said you can ship that stuff. I'm like, I didn't know you could ship cow crap.
Oh, I thought you said you can ship that stuff. I was like, you can.
I said ship.
You can do that.
Yeah. But good old Texas, horse manure.
You won't be able to get so close to your flowers to Q-tip pollinate if you put real horse manure.
It's an art. It's really an art form to be able to help pollinate the flowers and vegetables in your garden. I'm really becoming
on this episode of The Life of Nathan Lee.
I know, and I'm excited too because we're going to get ready to talk about his new album that's going to be dropping here in about a month or so, right?
Yeah.
He's been working hard. He's been working with some excellent producers and stuff, and just I can't wait to hear it.
Yep.
When the CMAs come around and they talk about the newest artists that come out.
Yep.
Dude. You're going to be right there on stage slapping people.
I will be. And it all started right here in Galveston, Texas.
Damn right. That's what we're talking about.
Boot.
And his boots are awesome.
Yeah. If you're here at the Texas conference, you need to come by our booth.
To see Nathan's boots.
I'll show you the whole attire. It's a great time.
It is very awesome. The reason he's wearing earbuds too is because he couldn't get it to fit with the headphones that were here.
Yeah, it was a struggle.
But it's all good. It's all good.
Yep.
Now, the last time the three of us were together on an episode and everything like this, I think we were in your guys' hotel room in Alabama for the Alabama conference.
Yeah.
And
Orange Beach, Alabama.
Yeah, I think that might have been like 2016, maybe somewhere around there. And we were talking about at the time all of the stuff that we were thinking about doing and doing together, and just how we can continue to, continue this partnership. But that it was our time. Like, this is our time to really get stuff going and get people following everything that not only we're doing, but just in the industry, and really being an advocate for those dispatchers and call takers that are there answering the calls and everything. Well, it's 2022 now, and there's a lot of stuff that has happened since then.
Yeah.
So let's start with Clint here. I only say that because Ryan said that. I want to start with Nathan here and just kind of go through.
I'm just kidding.
I was waiting for him to pull an Oscars moment out there or something.
Dude, that was good. That was good.
Shit happens.
Hey, I have class.
Yeah. Oh, Chris Rock got rocked. So
yeah, man.
So what has been going on since that time? There's been a lot of changes and a lot of big things. What's up, dude?
For sure. So that was before you left in digital. You were still kind of doing you were starting this whole thing part-time, and it was really growing. So that was really exciting. And I'm really I'm really glad to see that you were able to kind of make this your full-time gig, because you've been doing some amazing stuff. But yeah, back in 2016, Ryan and I were working together. He was with the foundation, and we were traveling, literally all over the place, probably 40 weeks a year, and doing some awesome things. And we were just trying to help, make the industry better and telling Denise's story. Ryan had a huge impact on, helping grow Denise's legacy. And he obviously had an amazing message with really tying things together and helping dispatchers. So then he decided to jump ship and go to a different company so he can, I'm a little bitter still.
I could hear it. Like, maybe I'm not the one who's going to get Chris Rock. It's going to, Will Smith, I should say.
If he would have said no, I would as his friend, I would have been like, dude, you're crazy. So I was proud of him, because he got built a name for himself and got a lot of other amazing opportunities. He still teaches with me on the side. So we're a couple Dare to Be Greats in. We're a couple Be the Difference conferences in.
Yeah.
It's just cool, man. We've done a lot of, you and I, we've been doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Real.
So it's been a lot of fun.
It's been an amazing experience, because I remember sitting at your headquarters, and I remember getting emotional too, and I think you did as well.
Yeah.
Because I was saying to you and Tanya that from the moment that I saw Denise's story, and then I was saying to people, like, I want to help this guy out somehow. I don't know how I'll ever meet him, but I need to try to, hopefully one day we can work together. And I remember 2013, in my first National NENA conference, I saw that you were there.
In my cowboy hat. I'm just kidding.
In North Carolina, yeah, Charlotte. And we were there. Like, I've got a picture of us there, and we did an episode together, and we've been keeping in touch ever since. And then with the Be the Different conferences and everything else that we've worked on, I thought, man, I've definitely fulfilled that, and it was.
We're brothers now, bro.
Yeah. It's been a great experience.
It's one of the amazing things. I look at, from my perspective, going through what our family went through, losing Denise. Obviously I'd do anything to get her back, but seeing and being able to experience all the amazing stuff over the years, and seeing her make a huge difference, changing 911, meeting all the amazing people that I've had a chance to meet. Literally, almost all of the closest people in my life are from this industry now, and I'm super blessed. But yeah, man, it's been a ride. It's been a wild ride for sure. So
now, Ryan, he kind of mentioned some of your story as well, but what are some of the things that have changed since that time, man?
Well, first of all, who would have ever predicted we were like building up to the pandemic of our lifetime?
Oh, I know, right?
So it's like, I'm sitting here thinking like, man, it's been 5 years, almost 6 years since we did that first podcast. And then I feel like the last 2.5 years have been one single year. It's just been like this running calendar of not going anywhere, stuck at home. And,
right.
But it was, you mentioned Dare to Be Great. We figured out how to get through it. The foundation was able to train thousands of dispatchers and everything like that. But yeah, since then, when I left the foundation, I went over and got into the technology side, and now I'm with Frontline Public Safety, and it's kind of come back full circle, because even when I was with the foundation, quality assurance and training is the foundation to this industry.
Right.
It's preparation for the Denise events. And every demo that I do now, every time I'm talking to an agency, I still bring up. I had two of my little Denise bracelets on last night, and somebody asked me, "Can I have those?" And it's just cool to see kind of how this industry is wraps your arms around you, and there's always additional opportunities coming up. But no, I had a great opportunity to join the Frontline team, and it's just I partner with the foundation. Everything. It's been a wild ride, but
I told Ben,
I'm glad to be back on the road.
I told Ben at Frontline that he needed to hire you, so you're welcome.
Oh,
okay. No, but I got to give a shout out. Ryan mentioned Dare to Be Great. Dare to Be Great was the Within the Trenches first ever virtual conference in the 911 industry. You were a trendsetter. You really opened up this Pandora's box of awesome training and an opportunity for training in the industry that they didn't have the opportunity to do. And the pandemic, again, one of the blessings in disguise from the pandemic was the Dare to Be Great, which then led to us being able to do the Be the Difference conference, which you were a huge part of.
Yeah.
I mean, just a huge shout out. I mean, we had 4,000 people at each of our Be the Difference conferences. You had about the same in your Dare to Be Greats. I mean, talking about, it's 20,000 people being able to get training that wouldn't have otherwise been able to do it. So
it's been amazing.
I just commend you, my
It's a
friend.
big deal.
Thank you.
It is a big deal.
Big deal.
Huge
And, just a side story off that. I've been working with a lot of legislators in North Carolina trying to get some type of reclassification efforts, and I've used the Dare to Be Great and the Be the Difference conference and sent them links and stories and attendance numbers just to show them. Between that, I really think the pandemic is going to be the launch pad that gets dispatchers reclassified.
Right.
And the amount of training and the way that we were able to adapt as an industry through the pandemic, I think is going to be a big variable in that. So,
no, I fully agree, man. We did it like dispatch style. We kept our knees loose and
on the fly,
doing,
yeah.
on the fly, doing what we're supposed to do. Now, I do have one. I have a funny question for you. Is your ear too small?
Yeah, man. It's like, what the heck? I'm like popping them in there and you go, it's like, goodness gracious. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
it's
that's
annoying.
funny. I'm sorry. I saw it pop out twice and I wanted to say that right away. I was like, no, I'm going to wait.
I mean, it's better to have big ears. I'd rather have small.
I'd
rather have small ears.
I mean, I have big ears, and I've heard that people dig my ears. Like, they're all right.
Yeah.
Kimberly in here says hello, Kimberly, hello, welcome, joining us. So one of the other things that we want to mention here as well is with all of this stuff that's been going on, all of this buildup, the continued partnerships, the continued work that we're doing, and you mentioned quality assurance. One of those are the big things. So you guys have an announcement that you want to make, and I think this is a great thing that's going to happen. So please do so.
Yeah. So the Denise Relief Foundation, we obviously have been, part of the industry now for 14 years. And the number one thing that we've, been able to bring to 911 is training. That's really been our main focus. I tell Denise a story called A Victim's Plea. That's Ryan and I started working together, and he helped me do that class many times. Now Matt Grogan from Las Vegas Fire teaches it with me. And then we have a whole new, suite of training. Now we have a whole course catalog. So if you haven't checked that out, go to our website and check it out. But one of the other things that we've gotten into is quality assurance, and training and QA really, they're really hand in hand. And we were part of the National APCONINA standard back in 2015. We had 5 board members part of that working group, including our QA director for the foundation. Her name is Cheryl Ornberg. She's a retired director out of the Chicago area. And she helps run our QA program, where we go in and help agencies build or rebuild, improve, kind of do gap analysis on their QA process. And then a step further, because of the staffing issues, we actually have third-party QA evaluators that come in and will do reviews for agencies to make sure the QA is actually getting done. Because one of the biggest, obviously we all know staffing is one of the biggest issues all over the place in every industry, really, but especially critical in 911. If you call 911 and nobody's there to answer the phone, it's devastating. But we knew there was a need. We knew not only did we want to help agencies do QA the right way, where recognition was a huge part of it, telling people they're doing a good job, but also finding some of the things that need to be improved. We just wanted to make sure it was being done the right way. And so that's the big, awesome thing. We've been doing that for many years, but one piece was missing, was how to make the QA process more efficient, to make it more, the reason with staffing and QA isn't getting done is because it's a laborsome, process. You have to sit there and listen to the call. You got to review it. A lot of times you got to play the call over to make sure they did or didn't do what, you're grading them on. And a lot of times, really, the way people were doing quality assurance was on an Excel spreadsheet. And, so they got a little box open with the audio, and they got the Excel pulled up, and then they had to pull up the CAD report. And it was just a lot of craziness. It just took a long time. And then Frontline came along and just built this unbelievable product. And I'll let Ryan talk more about that. But they built this software product that basically took all the forms that were part of that national standard that actually Cheryl herself created and put it in the software. And I'll kind of let Ryan talk more about what they do, and then also, kind of how we're partnering. And it's just really exciting because now not only is the foundation able to provide the QA services, we're going to have the ability to attach this software product with that. And that's kind of first in the industry, unprecedented thing. We're really excited about it.
Well, so I have a couple of questions here, and I want to get Ryan's take on this as well. But for you, Nathan, first, when talking to different centers, what has been, I guess, almost kind of I don't know how to put it, like the average, or what people usually say when you ask them, what is your QA process like? And the reason I ask is because when I was in dispatch, it was a piece of paper. We were listening to one emergency call and one non-emergency call. Mm-hmm. And, we would listen to it, and it would take, a while. I would go through and do all the markings and points and all that other stuff. But when it would hand them back, and I say this too because I would do this myself, I would sometimes just skim through it and then just sign it and be like, there you go.
Yeah.
But there was never any, like, there wasn't always like a follow-up or anything like that. So for you, when you talk to people, what has that process been like? And the reason I ask is because I want Ryan to say what his history was as well when it comes to QA, and then talk about Frontline.
Well, it's kind of a really complex answer because it's so different. I mean, it's, QA historically really began with protocols, right? Mm-hmm. There's protocols, 911, call take protocols. So, priority dispatch, power phone, APCO have protocols. And in order to make sure the protocols being followed, QA would need to be done. So a lot of places, if I ask them, are you doing quality assurance? They're like, yeah, we do quality assurance on our EMD calls, because that's what they're using a protocol for. And it's like, okay, well, what about your fire and police calls? No, we don't do QA on that. And it's like, okay, well, that's why. I mean, why are the medical calls? The reason for that we found is because, EMD is, if they have a protocol, they have a strict, policy procedure they're following, a script that they're following. But with fire and police, a lot of agencies don't have a real robust policy manual and a process that they're following. A lot of times it's kind of, just freelance of what they're doing. So that's part of it. Right. There are some agencies that are doing amazing. They're doing all of their call types, not just call take, but they're also doing the dispatch radio traffic. But it's a smorgasbord. I mean, it's all over the place. And I think that's one of my biggest passions is why is a city, for example, let's say we're in Houston, why is Houston, if they have an amazing quality assurance program, they're making sure that all their citizens are getting the same standard of care across the board, why are they more important than maybe another jurisdiction, a county away, that isn't doing quality assurance? Right. And why are the dispatchers not as important? Because if a place like Houston is doing it and they're getting a lot of recognition, being told they're doing a great job, maybe this other county isn't. And I'm just using them as an example. But that's, that you start, it's all, everything going on in a 911 center is so intertwined and connected with morale and compassion fatigue and, accountability and, and QA is such an awesome tool. A lot of times it has that negative association to it, but it's such an amazing tool. If agencies use it the right way, it actually can build morale and raise morale. And that's really the foundation's biggest mission is to make it a positive. It can be punitive, but as positive of an experience as possible to make sure that people are doing the best they can. So
perfect. Yeah. What about you, Ryan? What has been your experience when you were in dispatch, how QA works, but now, some of those differences in comparison to what it's like now, especially with working where you work?
Yeah, well, I think one of the, and I was just kind of thinking, as I was hearing Nathan just talk about that, it's QA is far too often used as a negative. Like, let's find our mistakes instead of the positive. Let's learn from our mistakes. And everything we do in life, it's like we're our own worst critic. But when we're taking a 911 call, we don't want to be criticized. Right. It's like shortcuts have become acceptable, especially if they're not using a protocol. And it's still working in the dispatch center part-time, and when I worked there full-time, it was how quick can I get on the call, how quick can I get off the call. It was never about what is the situation that caller is actually going through, how do I serve them best. But backing up before I even got in the dispatch center, when I was in the fire service, after every single call, we go back to the fire station and we debrief. What could we have done better? Is there a faster way to get there? Could we have hooked up to our water supply quicker? Could we have treated the patient differently? And I feel like 911's always been kind of late to that party. But I do think, going back to I talked about the pandemic, there was a lot of policy procedure changes during the pandemic. There's a lot of policy and procedures that were being reviewed during the pandemic because we had to get creative.
Right.
And I think quality assurance was one of the tools that has been used to make sure that people are adapting to the new policy and procedures. But when I was a dispatcher, same way like you were talking about, I would get a QA review. I would get stacks of them dropped on the console when I was working night shift. I didn't know what the audio was for. I didn't even remember what call they were going to. I mean, the center I worked at, we were answering 100, 150 calls a shift. And I would get 8 or 10 reviews. They could be from the last month. I'm like, oh, okay, I got A's, I got B's, I got C's, because they would typically grade them like a high school test. I didn't learn anything from them, and so actually taking the data, and I know the agency that I worked at is much more progressive with the QA now, but you think about 10 years ago, QA was a stepping stone or just a checkbox. We have to do it because priority dispatch tells us we have to. So it's what are we learning from it? And I think, as I've kind of moved into the software side now, doing QA is the easy part. Partnering with Nathan and letting him do QA is the easy part. It's what are we learning from it?
Yeah. What are you doing with the data that you're getting?
Yeah.
So
that's what you are. You're collecting data. And you're just getting all this information. Management is actually getting a barometer of what actually is going on.
Correct.
Otherwise, if you're not doing quality assurance, you're just listening to one side of a call. If I'm listening to you right now, I can't hear what's going on in there. Well, I can now. But if I'm a supervisor, I'm a manager, and I come into my comm center, I'm listening. I hear you talking, but I don't hear what's going on in the other side. I don't really have a true understanding. If I'm doing just call take QA, if I'm just doing reviews on how they're answering the phone, what if in Denise's story they didn't dispatch it, so the call taker theoretically could have gotten 100% score on the call, but the agency would have never known the call wasn't dispatched because they don't. Maybe they didn't review the dispatch side.
Right.
So it's not complicated. It's just, we've developed the tools. There's a free national standard that APCO and NINA and the foundation and a bunch of others were part of to help agencies with it. We just want to go a step further. And, these dispatchers, supervisors are all now working consoles because of staffing. And it's just one of those things that's kind of just gets put on the back burner. And we have the resources. We have this, this product, I guess, or these services that can help, and that's what we're really trying to get out there is that don't feel like you're alone. We have resources to help.
And I think in the last especially in the last 2 years, if you mess up on a 911 call, you are on the news before you get home.
Yeah.
Like it's immediate, and the amount of people that are listening to scanners now, like your voice is shared with thousands and thousands of people who are not wearing a badge. And so when I'm talking to a director, that's one of the things. Like, the last thing you want to do is have to review a call quickly before you share it with the media, because you have to share it with them. Don't let them evaluate your calls for you. Yeah. You don't want a jury of your peers who have no idea how to process a 911 call, evaluate a 911 call. But the other two things, it's like, the two main reasons people should do quality assurance. One is to be better, right? That's a given. A lot of people avoid that because they're scared of what they're going to find.
Yeah, that's true.
And the most influential thing of a dispatcher can hear is themselves talking to the public. You can feel like you are giving the best customer service possible, and you hear yourself, and you're gonna sound like you're rude. Like, it's just crazy to hear yourself.
Right.
But the other thing is liability reduction. Every time I turn on the news, somebody getting sued. 911, police, fire, EMS, somebody. If you go back and have all that documentation and all these reports to say, look, 99.8% of the time we do our job perfectly, but the 0.2% of the time that we haven't done it perfectly, look what we've done to fix that.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to reduce your liability. If not, you're going to be signing checks.
You're collecting information. You're then turning it into targeted training that is then going to correct those issues that are happening before they make the news.
Correct.
And then you're also sprinkling in some kudos. Hey, great job on that call. Hey, great job on that call. You did amazing when you did this. You did amazing when you did this. Fantastic job. So now this dispatcher, instead of just getting yelled at all the time on the phone, at least they have people in their comm center, management telling them, hey, you did great. You did great. You did great. Hey, on this, you need to try this differently, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it really is an amazing tool if it's done the right way. If it's not being done the right way, sometimes it's better to not do it at all, honestly. And that's so that's why we're here.
Cause more damage.
There's a question here from Hank actually that says, does the QA you provide also cover management actions / interactions with dispatchers?
Yeah, so that would be the quality improvement side. So the QA quality assurance, and then the quality improvement. One of the things the foundation is getting ready to launch is a training component to the QA services we have, where we're going to actually be able to provide training for the specific areas of concern or areas of opportunity that the agency has. We provide the reports back, like we're doing third-party QA. We provide the QA reports, the QA evaluations back to management. And what's frustrating for us sometimes is that we don't have any control after that. I mean, it's really up to the management of that agency what they want to do. But during our pre-implementation process, during the entire, especially getting the program set up, there's a lot of that component in there. Okay, management, this is your responsibility. We outline all the job responsibilities from everybody in the agency so that when they're doing the quality assurance, management is actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Whether they do that or not is up to them. But absolutely, I mean, it's a full circle thing. This isn't just to start listening to calls and doing stuff with it. It's you're trying to improve the level of care and also the culture in the center, and that's our mission is to do that. So, like what happened to Denise doesn't happen again, because the agency that messed up in that case did not have a good culture, and they weren't ready for that incident. And so, we want to help make sure that doesn't happen again.
The culture is contagious. Like it doesn't start at the top, it doesn't end at the bottom. It's one of the things when I'm teaching with Nathan, when we talk about the importance of training. One of the things I say is that your CTO, the person who is training your new dispatchers, is the foundation of the culture of the future of your center.
They're spreading the culture. They're affecting the
they should be the most contagious person, because they should be sharing the positive side. Too often people get in the dispatch center, and a lot of times upper management gets blamed for this, but it's not necessarily falling on their lap.
Right. And
from the other side, sometimes the front end dispatchers get blamed for a lot that doesn't necessarily should be falling in their lap. So it's a lot of finger pointing. That's public safety. All right, we're dealing with crap all the time. Just get over it. Right. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like if you're, like Nathan said, if you tell somebody they've done a good job 4 out of 5 times, and then that 1 out of 5 you tell them, hey, I found something that you can be better at, they're going to accept it a whole lot more.
Right.
And you talk about morale and positive culture, it's going to spread from top to bottom, because the front end dispatcher doesn't like to be told they're doing something wrong. If they're doing something wrong, it's management's fault. If management gets blamed for something, it's the front end dispatcher's fault. And so QA, and to go back to Hank's point, QA is going to be that tool to show everyone how well everyone is doing from top to bottom. And it's not used in that.
It's not always used. A lot of places do use it that way, but it's not consistent.
And one of our customers, up in New Hampshire, John Goldman from Lakes Regions, he will not mind me saying this. His favorite part of our QA software is the dashboard, because it's a reassurance of how well his staff is doing, and all it is daily stats on the QA scores.
Nice.
And because they never hear about the good calls, they only get calls from the fire chief when the bad calls come in.
Right.
So he said, that's my favorite page. I'm not doing reviews. I just want to see those positive stats. And he's like, it's reassuring that I've got a good staff.
Nice.
So
when does this all go into effect? Is it already in effect?
Yesterday.
I mean, we announced it. Yeah. So
the big announcement is that Frontline is exclusively partnering with the Denise Amber Lee Foundation to allow us as the foundation to sell and attach the Frontline QA tracker to our proposals when an agency is looking to have quality assurance services completed by the foundation. We have a whole team of subject matter experts, of quality assurance evaluators that are all Qs in their own respective centers, that will then get teamed up with a specific agency. Obviously, we match protocol to protocol. We don't have dispatchers, queuing, or QA evaluators queuing police incidents if they don't work for a police department.
Yeah.
Like Matt Grogan's a fire dispatcher. He's not taking police calls. We wouldn't put him as a Q if he was a Q. He's not, but we wouldn't put him. We really strategically place all those things. It's not just we're just going to throw these people on there.
Right.
And they then they go through a calibration phase where they get familiar with the agency's policy procedures. And then once they feel comfortable, the agency feels comfortable with the results they're getting during that phase, we then start the QA reviews. And we're very specific that we get the reviews back within a 2-week time frame, so that, like Ryan was already mentioning, the dispatcher hopefully has some sort of recollection of what the call was about, so that when they do get coached, when they do get trained on what went wrong or what went well, they remember it. We're reviewing based on the agency's policies. We're not just reviewing on what our Qs think you should be doing. Everybody does things different. We are reviewing based on what your agency says that your dispatchers are supposed to do. QA doesn't work. You can't tell somebody they're doing something wrong if you never told them to do it that way in the first place. So integrity, consistency, it's all so extremely important. And Cheryl and our team of the people in the QA division have just done a spectacular job of getting to just building this program to where we can help these agencies. And you call one of our customers and the people we're working with, and they'll tell you it's changed. I just got an email last week, or I guess it was about 3 weeks ago now. Everything's blending with these conferences. Time is time is flying by. It is the hat. It's squeezing my brain a little too tight. But I got an email a few weeks back from an agency in Oregon, and I was going by to visit the center, and they're one of our customers. And done many trainings there. They all know Denise's story, but we also were doing QA services. And she sent me this email about 2 paragraphs long, just talking about how since we've started doing quality assurance for their agency, she has seen a huge change in morale. She sees a huge change in policies being followed, and it's actually made a huge impact. And it just made my day, because that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That is Denise. In a roundabout way, Denise is making a difference, and
right.
I'm
legacy
glad.
Continues.
Yeah, the legacy continues. So, so that's the big announcement. So the foundation will be able to attach this software as part of our services that we produce, and it's going to be a game changer, because not every agency out there has QA software to use. It's going to make it a more seamless process for the customer, for the agency, so that they're not dealing with 2 different vendors. But we're excited. And Frontline, I'm just Ben and Russ, the two guys that started the company, have just done a tremendous job and are great guys to work with. Frontline, you call them, they figure it out. They get it. I don't just partner with anyone. Denise's legacy is very, very sacred to me, and
right.
The foundation's credibility, and I'm excited to partner with Frontline.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer for us. My and Nathan's personal friendship.
It's fading every day, but it's okay. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if I can. I need new friends if you're going to wear that 10-gallon bucket hat. But from the business side, it's people avoid QA unless they have an efficient way to do it.
Yeah.
If they can do it quick and learn something from it, that's the people who dedicate the time to it. If they're going through the motions, they skip it. They wait months and months and months. So we're gonna, and going back to what Nathan said with Ben and Russ. Yeah, I feel like they're as mission driven, almost like a nonprofit, because they want to make sure that our software is affordable for every dispatch center, no matter the size.
I love seeing the reactions. We're sharing a booth with them in Texas.
Yeah. And
Ryan will he knows they have a scale based on how many dispatches he has, how much the software costs. And when he tells them, he'll tell them right in the booth, hey, this is how much it would be a year. And they're like, what?
Is that a month or a year? I'm like, no, that's year.
Yeah. I saw it like 5 times yesterday. It's a lot of fun to actually watch that.
And it's one of the greatest things that come up yesterday is, dispatch, especially when it comes to software, is always comes second. They build something for police or the sheriff's office or something like that, and it's just got to be molded to fit dispatch. Somebody walked up yesterday from a pretty large agency in Texas and said, who influenced you on the building of this product? They were talking about our QA and our daily observation reports. And Ben, without a blink in his eye, said, this was built by recommendations from dispatch centers. And she said, I am so happy to hear that. Because cops don't do our job. We don't do cops' job.
Right.
You know, so having the feedback, and like Nathan said, you know, our development team from Rust down, they hear feedback. They're always going back in the product and trying to make it better, trying to make it more efficient. You know, and then moving forward with this partnership with the foundation, and it's going to help their queues out. It's going to help the agencies out with having dashboards for not only their agency, but by shift, by discipline, by employee. You know, so that's one of the big values. As we talked about learning from QA. So after Nathan does the QA with one of his evaluators,
I don't do the QA.
Thank God.
Just full disclosure, I do not do the QA.
But these dispatchers will forever be able to go back into their own portal and review these.
Yeah, right.
You know, so it's going to be a lasting impact on them, not just having one call review, a passed, check it over the shoulder.
Check it out. Yeah. No, this is good. Yeah, continuing to have that, to see any progress or anything going on, or if somebody has an issue or something and they see that progress, because there's a lot of times where, you know, people might have, you know, a bad call, they have a bad day, or have a bad few calls or something, and their QA score is not that great. And to see a score, let's just say, for example, on that dashboard, a score that's you know, kind of low, but to see it gradually move up and everything, that builds, you know, good morale and everything for that person, with the culture in there as well. And I want to mention my homie Kimberly here. She says, excellent topic, and so happy to see that someone has brought something to our field that is beyond beneficial to, in all caps, everyone. Yeah. Great job, guys. So this is good. So as we go into the wrap up of this live broadcast we were doing here, for the both of you, we'll start with Nathan. How can people find out more about the Denise Amber Lee Foundation, whether it be email, social media, anything and everything that you guys are doing? And I just got an awesome cup here really quick from Virtual Academy. Bam. Big shout out, media partner sponsor there. Thank you. But how can people find out more?
You planned that. That looked planned.
It wasn't planned, but
it almost looked like the Will Smith slap, like it was like actually staged. Sorry, let's not go back there.
And then we'll go into Ryan as well, how they can find out more about what he's doing, as well as Frontline and social media, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we have our website, deniseamberlee.org. If you want more information on our QA program, there's a contact us link. Just fill out the contact us form, and we will get in touch with you ASAP to find out about your process. We also have social media. We have Instagram, Facebook. Please follow us. If you haven't liked us on our Facebook page, please do that. I'll give you my email. My email is nathan@deniseamberlee.org. Send me a direct email, and I'll make sure that we get you all the information you need. So I just want to just give a shout out to all of you that are watching, that are working in the trenches. See what I did there? And you guys are
very nice.
Just thank you for what you do and the sacrifices you make. I'm your biggest fan, and just keep being the difference and rocking it out. So thanks for that.
Awesome. Yeah. Frontline, frontlinepss.com. You can follow us on social media. You know, I have my own social media as well: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'll be posting some behind the scenes from the Nathan Lee tour. Album watch.
You're gonna be his roadie.
I'll be his roadie. Yeah. So I'm gonna be. I'll be posting some fun pictures.
See what I have to deal with here. I mean, I'm just trying to have a good time. I thought these guys were my friends.
We are your friends. That's why
you guys are giving me so much crap.
We are trying to encourage you to never wear that again.
Hey, I've got the full. I'm going to back up. We're on camera, right? So yeah.
Yes.
So I got the.
Let's see if we can see this.
I've got the belt buckle on, you know, and then I've got my boots. I can't get my feet up that high. I'm not that flexible. But Hank Hunt, I got you, bro.
Oh,
Hank wasn't able to make it to this conference, so I needed to make sure that his full representation was represented.
Wing. There you are, Hank.
And, yeah. Exciting stuff, dude. I'm so glad to be back at conferences.
I know, man.
We were signed up to do 21 conferences this year, and this is number 2. I'm already tired.
Yeah, it's getting back to craziness. I've been so used to being home so much, and you know, all the kid time, and it's going. I'm getting back into that. Oh my God, I miss my kids, and you know, I'm ready to slow down a little bit, but it's good. It's all good stuff.
One last question here, actually. This says, Hank says awesomeness. I'm assuming that was to the wing thing.
Wing.
It was to the belt buckle.
So Kim says, this will also help with training someone with no experience. Sometimes us seasoned dispatchers have a hard time putting ourselves in the position of a newbie. So many benefits.
100%.
Yeah,
That's good.
We talk about
That's
that in our pre-implementation, where you add the QA into the training program. You do Qs like the QA process. If you have a QA program, you want to do quality assurance on your trainees while they're in training, so that they're training on how the QA program is going to work.
There is no better person to evaluate your QA or training process than someone brand new to it.
You're right.
A rookie dispatcher has the best
Barometer.
Yeah, can give you feedback on how to improve it or what's messed up, because all the senior dispatchers are used to it.
Right.
It's talk about culture.
I haven't thought about that. That's good.
That was deep, bro.
Yeah, that's right. No, you're right.
Every now and then he says something intelligent. It's
Lavelle says hello to you. She says that she can see your hat.
Okay, hi Lavelle.
Who can't?
It's not like one of those jumbo hats from like Dumb and Dumber.
It is. I keep ducking away every time you turn your head.
Yeah, it's taken an adjustment.
The best part was I told him he was wearing it backwards, and he actually questioned himself.
That was amazing. I'm gonna be.
They're jealous. That's all it is.
I am. I want a hat.
Did you buy that at Buc-ee's?
No. I bought it in the stockyards about 12 years ago. Stockyards in Fort Worth.
There you go.
It was National Nina 2009. Yeah. Blast from the past. I dusted it off.
Well, thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for having us, man.
This is really good, man. If you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That is @91podcast. You can like us on Facebook. That is facebook.com/Within the Trenches Podcast. Any bonus material that you're looking for, you can check us out, and that is patreon.com/WTT Podcast. Check us out and support us there. And something special for patrons only is you get audio versions of the DRT, Open Mic Live, and these live broadcast as well. And I see Nathan looking around, trying not to laugh as I'm just talking.
One last thing.
Yeah.
I hope people can't hear it.
Oh, he's a cowboy, baby.
Like dust in the wind.
Oh, stay tuned for a fantastic video with Nathan Lee walking, strutting his stuff earlier.
You can see this on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Twitter, and you can listen to the main flagship show Within the Trenches podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, also Apple Podcasts, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.